I'm sorry, little Sammy Terry there from the people at my neck in the woods here. Because if you grew up when I did, you had three channels, but if you was lucky, you'd get that fourth channel that's up from the distant city, you know. In my case, it was Indianapolis, Indiana, and you had a few heroes there. In the mornings, you had Cowboy Bob and you had Janie, but in the nighttime game, and you had Sammy Terry. Oh. Anyway, welcome to the other side of everything else. And like I say, we usually do music. We did a little TV last time, so we're jumping into some movies this time. Got the Halloween going on, huh? Got a little Halloween action here. Yeah, this shirt I got for Christmas, ironically, from my daughter. So, but nothing says Christmas like Halloween. Anyway, let's get into this fourth edition, the fourth episode, what I'm going to label the Fatal Four-Way. And getting into the Fatal Four-Way, but we're doing a little extra too, though, because I want to give props to some Sammy Hagar. Or no, Sammy Hagar. I said Sammy Hagar. No, Sammy Terry. So I had the music on the brain. Sammy Hagar's got a new album out right now with a circle. Skid Row's got a new album out, so I'm going to be getting back into the music. Probably I'm going to try to do it later this week if I can. I kind of got my back jacked up right now, so I'm trying to get through this, get this done, and then I'm going to try to throw together some Sammy and some Skid and maybe Shiraz Lane. That's a band I bet you don't know about. And grab another one, and then we'll get back into some music because I've got some new stuff going on there I want to kind of cover. But right now, I mentioned Sammy Terry. I mean, I remember being a little kid. I mean, it's kind of campy now and stuff, but I remember hiding behind the recliner, peeking around, watching them, and then he'd talk to spiders. Who talks to spiders other than Spider-Man, maybe? I don't know. But he wasn't a Spider-Man. I don't know what he was. Was he a vampire? He lived in a coffin. He came out of the coffin. Was he a ghoul? He could be a ghoul. Then again, he could be a boy. Because you can be a boy or a ghoul, whichever one you want to be. Because that's politics. Maybe we'll get into some politics. Elections coming up. It is the other side of everything else. Please like and subscribe. Tell a friend, tell an enemy, tell a stranger. And if you see Sammy Terry, mention it to him. Huh?
am Sammy Terry.
Sammy Terry, like cemetery, was the creation of one of Channel 4's first employees. Bob Carter did a bit of everything at the station, but he became famous when he invented his alter ego in just 2 weeks to meet a sponsor's deadline.
You can still catch him on Facebook Live. Its son took it over. I mean, the original guy actually passed away, but you can actually catch some Facebook Live, and they'll show some old movies and stuff. I watched old Frankenstein meets the werewolf last night. Popped it on something while I was trying to go to sleep. Like I said, I've got some back problems right now, and it's killing me. I just like to put something on in the background, that I can kind of watch, go to sleep to. I mean, most people don't want to go to sleep to scary stuff. Not most people. And besides, this is the other side of everything else, and that was the other side of that. But I did mention that I was going to go to the drive-in and watch Halloween Ends. Well, we didn't make it to the drive-in. We would have loved to, but we had some family come over and some friends, and we kind of hung out. Time got away from us, and it was a great time with them, so can't complain. But then we didn't have to go because we live in the age where you don't have to go. You can wait for it to come on. Sometimes it's on while it is still on in the theaters and drive-ins. And I'm talking about the streaming services. This streaming service was Peacock. So if you have Peacock, which I do, boy, that could be an insult right there, couldn't it? But anyway, I did watch Halloween Ends. And but first, I want to give some props to the original Halloween because I think that was one of the best. It was kind of almost the beginning of the slasher era, and it was right before Friday the 13th and Freddy and Nightmare on Elm Street and Jason and with Friday the 13th, as I mentioned. And maybe we can get into some more slasher stuff. Maybe Pinhead and Chucky and all of those. 'Cause there's so many of those. But Michael Myers was always the best. And if I was better at this right now, I would be popping a clip on of Austin Powers, the actor Michael Myers, genius. But I'm not, so I just mentioned it. But anyway, you got the original Halloween movie. If you haven't seen that, I recommend. The Rob Zombie ones are good. First few sequels are pretty good. Halloween 3 is a little iffy, but
spent 8 years trying to reach him, and then another 7 trying to keep him locked up because I realized that what
I do recommend the original Halloween here.
purely and simply evil.
And I love that music. I used to DJ, and I'd always play that on the Halloween stuff. Actually, I'm surprised it's not my ringtone right now. It usually is this time of year.
Come back.
Oh, look at them, the trio. Oh, there was PJ. I know her from Rock and Roll High School with the Ramones, which is a whole nother scary outfit.
Come on out.
Hey, you got to admit, he did ask for it. I usually root for Michael on most of these things. I mean, he just misunderstood. She was a scream queen there for a while. So, anyway, that was a little look at the original, but then we come all the way full circle, 35 years later or something like that? Full circle to Halloween Ends.
I was certain that I saw him watching me.
Don't you wish we had music in real life? It'd tell you so much what's going on.
What are you gonna do when Michael comes back for you?
Let you know to get excited or scared.
But this time, something feels different. He's more dangerous.
I've heard a lot of people giving some bad reviews on here, but I thought it was decent. I mean, it's what it is. It's a slasher movie that's been going on for 35 years. And they kind of bring it to the end.
He killed my daughter. But tonight, I will kill him.
Kind of brings it to the end, but do they really? Do they really? You just never know. Because there's been lots of them where you're thinking, well, that's it. Jason got buried at the bottom of a lake with a rock on top of him. He came back. Hell, he went to space one time. But anyway, I recommend anything, whether it's music, TV, whatever, to check it out yourself and see if you like it. Especially if you're streaming it off a service, like if you got Peacock, it's always a good one. I got it because I got wrestling, and this is the Fatal Fourway episode, and I might get into a little wrestling episode a little bit later on. Got some other stuff I want to cover right now, but anyway, that's where we're at there on the whole Halloween situation. So I'm just saying, just watch your back while you're out there. Be careful when you look on the other side. Everything else just might be there. So, good Michael. But, I digress. Let's jump into what I'm calling the Fatal Four-Way. I picked 4 of the scary movies from my childhood. Movies that I was probably too young to be watching at the time. And there was a few of them. So I picked 4 of them. Tried to get some, maybe some you might not have heard of. Maybe some that you probably hadn't thought about in a while or whatever. But I'm going to start out with something that you may suspect because to me it was probably the scariest movie, and it could be because I was, like I said, way too young, and I was probably watching it on the broadcast channels, which means it's probably censored. Because I was like upstairs, I'm sure I wasn't supposed to be watching it, and I'm up there with a black and white TV, in my bed, and then of course Eddie Murphy, he brings it around like if you stare at something long enough, you can stare at that coat in the corner. Yeah, after a while, it's going to go, hey, how you doing? Because I'd look at the corners of the bed, always Reagan up there on it. And I'm not talking about Ronald. No, he's scary too. Actually, I think he's just an animatronics for a long time. I'm not even sure if he was alive during his presidency. Not that I'm disrespecting his presidency, because I do respect him, but well, I don't do impressions. Anyway, let's jump into some Exorcist and see where we're at here.
Yes,
How old are
12.
you? Is there someone inside you?
Hey, hold on there. You don't ask a 12-year-old girl for somebody inside of her. That's just wrong in itself right there.
Beth was rising off the floor and shaking.
Do you have any religious beliefs?
You ever heard of exorcism?
I'm only against the possibility of doing your daughter more harm than good.
The movie does kind of hold up, especially you're dealing with the devil, and
One priest who was performed
the devil is in the details. She knows the funniest stuff.
Do it again.
Oh, he likes parlor tricks.
No, no. In time.
I mean, with the whole head spinning around, and this was 1973 when it came out. Spitting out pea soup, pissing out pea soup, or whatever. I don't know if she did that. I don't know.
That thing upstairs isn't my daughter.
Richard Pryor really brought it home when he was like, "Get the crowds at you, pussy. We got company downstairs." That's when I realized I seen the censored.
What an excellent day for an exorcism.
You gotta love a devil with a sense of humor. Oh, it's just the devil in me. But, Exorcist, that's the number one on the Fatal Four-Way here. And now I'm going to jump into probably the first really scary movie. Well, I don't know. I don't know, because I'm sure I was watching a rerun of The Exorcist 2. I didn't watch it on TV when it first came out. But I did go to the drive-in. I'm sure it was with my buddy Dave. I'm sure, yeah, because drive-in back then, they'd take you and they'd drop you off. We'd run up to the merry-go-round, the swing set or whatever, and we'd hang out up there and had a bench up there, and we'd watch the movies or whatever. Who knows what our parents or whoever took us was doing. But there was a movie called The Town That Dreaded Sundown, which is ironic because then, once I was a teenager, I was all about sundown after that, unless she's talking about Gordon Lightfoot. Then if sundown came around, he better be watching out. Anyway, I'm getting way off track here. Let's jump right in here, and let's take a look at The Town That Dreaded Sundown.
This man's identity is unknown. He was believed to be between 30 and 40 years old. He wore a white hood and was known only as the Phantom Killer. World War
See, this was all based on true events.
Texarkana, Arkansas. Boys
Late
had come home to
40s,
their
early
families.
50s maybe.
Husbands reunited with their wives. It was a happy, peaceful time. Until the Phantom Killer struck.
I mean, this is stuff the old
Once, the
campfire
old
ghost
entire
stories are
city
made up
in
of,
the
you know.
icy grip of terror. Now, Charles B. Pierce brings this incredible, shocking, and true story to the screen.
They did a remake,
The
2014 or
Town
so, which wasn't
Starring
bad, but
Academy
I really
Award
like the
Ben
original one,
Johnson
though.
as
Probably because
Captain
that's what I
J.D.
grew up with.
Morales of the Texas Rangers.
We got a cold-blooded killer here. A man who nobody sees. A phantom who, so far, hasn't made any mistakes.
Andrew Prine as Deputy Norman Ramsey of the Texarkana Sheriff's Department.
Anyway, that's a little town that dreaded sundown. Something you might want to look up. It was, like I said, one of my favorites. So now what are we going to jump into? We're on the Fatal Four-Way. We've done two. We've done two-way dance there. We're going to do a three-way dance now. And we're going to throw a little something from 1979. A little something called Salem's Lot.
You shouldn't have gone through the woods.
It's a shortcut.
Yeah, you wuss.
Wait, Danny, wait!
Something
Danny.
happening.
Something terrible.
Well, it didn't look terrible.
Where's Ralphie?
Where's your brother?
Is he his brother's keeper? I don't know.
First a kid disappears, and this. You're not leaving Salem's Lot, are you?
Nobody leaves Salem Lot.
Don't you understand what's
See, it had Hutch from Starsky and Hutch in it. You'd think it'd be okay, but maybe he's not all that without Starsky.
I dreamed. You slept there all night.
Yeah. A little tired.
It's the part that really creeped me out for some reason. I live upstairs, probably the same room I'm in now. Somebody floating, knocking on the window. No, I'm a little kid, you know. I'm not a little kid at that point. I'm preteen, but Liam's hitting the window. I'm just watching Salem's Lot.
It wasn't a dream.
It wasn't a dream. Just like it wasn't a tumor with Arnold. Nosferatu. Or is it Nosferatu 1?
The vampires are creating vampires.
The monster wants you.
Ooh, so it's a vampire.
Progression 2 times 2 times 4 times 8.
There's a dead man upstairs. Yeah, you know, I walked through the valley of the...
I might have to go back and watch that one again. It's been a long time since I watched it. It may not hold up. I may, well, you know, you watch these movies and you're like, boy, I didn't... Not as good as I thought, but like I said, that one kind of just creeped me out. It didn't scare me as much as just creeped me out for some reason. So I may have to go back and watch that one. Anyway, that's the three-way dance. We're getting ready to go into the fatal four-way. And what am I going to end it with? Well, I started with the devil. Might as well end with the devil. The original Omen.
For generations, the Thorns have been a family of tremendous wealth, position, and power. The perfect marriage of Ambassador Robert Thorne and his wife Catherine was fulfilled by the birth of their son, Damien.
Oh,
And then,
look how cute he
when the
is.
child was 5 years old, something terrible happened.
We've all seen that look. See, nowadays we just call it a brat. Back then we called it the son of the devil.
It happened again. Was it an accident?
I don't know.
Was it murder?
I don't know.
Was it a coincidence?
I
Or
doubt
was
it.
it an omen?
Look at me, Damien.
And this was the scariest part to me as his babysitter. Boom.
20th Century Fox presents a film of psychological suspense about an occurrence of earth-shaking importance. Gregory Peck, Lee Remick, The Omen.
I was at the hospital, Mr. Thorne, the night your son was born. I saw its mother. I saw its mother.
I have fears.
Oh.
Kind of fears. Its mother, Mr. Thorne. You saw my wife. Its mother. What is it you're trying to say? His mother was a...
This is not
The son of a beast.
child. Make no mistake.
There are those who will die for him.
They knows it did.
There are those who will kill
I think
for
they
him.
redid this one too in 2006 with Julia Stiles, I think it was. But
What does he want? Where
But
did he
again,
come from?
I defer to the original.
And can he be stopped?
And there's a whole series of these Omen movies too.
Gregory Peck,
Show them growing up,
Lee Remick,
taking power.
The Omen.
I think Flip Wilson's in one of them going, "It's the devil in me."
If this is the truth, where does it end?
We don't know. If you're anything like Halloween, it never ends. Or does it? I don't know. Did you hear that? Alright. Anyway, there's where we're at. There's where we're going to end it. The Fatal Four-Way. The 4th edition. The 4th episode. The other side of everything else. Welcome to my nightmare. Ooh, it's ghoulish. Anyway, I'll see you on the other side.